Hello everyone, it's Kylie from PaperDaisyJournals. I hope you are doing well today. I have a quilted wraparound journal to share with you today. It is a very delicate color palette on the outside, and I was very tempted to keep this one for myself. Even my mum was, oh, that's a pretty one. But I am doing the flip through. It will be in my shop. I just have too many journals. I don't need to keep all of them. So I have shown you and talked about how I do the cover of my quilted journals in the different parts. I'll just undo that closure so that we can see the spine a bit better. So on the spine, the quilt that I used on the spine, I wasn't too keen on the colour, so I actually used some permanent craft glue and just really firmly adhered this lace to the spine. But because I don't trust glue, I also stitched on a button at the top and the bottom, and the signatures are holding it on as well, so it's very well held on. But I actually really love the look of it. So often when I have a little bit of a glitch with one of my designs or something that I'm doing, I like to turn it into a happy accident. And this is a happy accident because I've actually I've decided to copy this design on my next quilted journal. But that's the back of the journal, and then I usually have like a second spine as part of the wraparound bit, and then we're back to the front. So inside the journal I've got a little quilted heart that I've stitched in, and I've used beautiful floral fabric inside the journal, some book page, get a tag so that I can show you any tuck spots. I've used a doily for some texture. I've I hand stitched some fabric on, and then I stuck a little bit of this trim. Oh, I need to show you up close. It is so petite. How beautiful is that? Hopefully that was in focus. If not, I totally wasted my time lifting the journal. Anyway, a bank receipt and a postcard, one of Tuck's postcards. Beautiful colours on his postcards. And I've put a little snippet of fabric with a button on the lace pocket. Some wallpaper. This is some handmade paper, so it's got a floral sort of layer to it. Little snippet at the top. I've used some of Kathy's beautiful rusted bits. These are owl paper clips, I think because of the circular parts. I've just clipped some music paper on there to add some layering, and I've actually put some trim onto the music paper, and then I have a piece of book page behind it to create sort of a layered effect. This is one of those tricky sort of pages I like to mention. Probably the only one in the journal, but I'm always proud of myself when I can work out layers like that. I layer my journals, but the pages are quite simply decorated usually. This is an envelope, so you could actually leave it pinned in and just use it as a pocket there, or you could move it to some other part of the journal. Some braille paper. This is a tuck spot here, and I've just tied a little bow with some beautiful delicate lace, and I've used a stapler to staple that on the top. Beautiful piece of lace there. I did a little bit of collaging in this journal. Not something I usually do, but I actually had a lot of fun because I've literally used a staple to stick all of these layers together, and then I've stuck it onto the side of the journal as a tuck spot. And I've used some snippets to make a snippet roll, and I've just used some of that to make a little tuck spot on the side of that page. I've done one of my little button snippets, just sewn that on there. This is an original luggage tag, and I've just put some beautiful original Victorian scraps onto it. And that's a tuck spot as well. Here's another tricky layered situation, I'll say. I'm too scared to undo it in case I forget how to put it back together again, so I do apologize. I have stuck a envelope onto some music paper with lace at the top, some beautiful old trim at the bottom, so it is a tuck spot, but it is pinned onto this document page at the start of that signature for that sort of layered look. Another collage. Again, I've just used a bit of vintage paper doily, some beautiful handmade paper and some antique wallpaper, and I've just stapled it and then I've glued it onto the page so the staple's not coming through on the other side. This is a nice big tuck spot up here, and I've just ruched that as I've been sewing it on, just to get so it's not dead flat. It gives it a little bit of texture, more texture I guess than the fabric. I've put a lot of trim on the edge of the pages. This one, I did originally have these together, but the holes moved as I put it, as I bound the journal. So I have separated them, and that is the signature in the middle, but I just punched holes and put some tulle through it. You could easily tie those together and have like a little secret pocket. And I've just got one of my button snippets at the top, a doily in the middle. These are tuck spots, and I haven't stuck the whole doily down. I've just stuck the middle because it was flopping around a bit too much. It was annoying me, so I thought if it's annoying me, it might annoy other people. That's a wallpaper trim as a tuck spot, and I've just got some beautiful pink trim along the edge there as well. A book page and an old French letter, and that has the original stamp on the back of it. It's a folded letter. Some of that German measuring tape. I just decided to put this lace here and sort of ruffle it because I don't know, I just liked the delicate lace with the sort of quite structured but old book page underneath. There's another fabric tab on the side with a button. More buttons. This one is on an old Belgian telegram. I should just let you see the picture because she's so beautiful, that young woman with the flowers. And I've used an old postcard as a tuck spot. Another doily just for interest, texture, some more wallpaper trim tucked into a pocket. Here I've got some, it's like tatting lace with tassels, and then I've just added a beautiful rose made from a ribbon rose on the side there. This is another little cluster that I thought was a bit tricky. I will pull this one apart to show you. So that's one of those owl clips, that's what they look like. And this one is simply a full receipt, full French receipt from 1928, tucked over the top of a page with a mini coin envelope decorated with some lace wallpaper and a cutout butterfly. And I just thought that was really cute. So watch out, I'm getting a bit tricky with some of my designs. Makes my head hurt. No, I'm joking. I enjoy it mostly. I prefer just doing little buttons with lace because it feels easier. And another collage there, that could be used as a tuck spot. some trim at the bottom there, so the center of the signature, that's not actually stuck down. So if you wanted to use them as two separate tuck spots, you might need to just put a little bit of glue in the middle there. But a couple of pages from books, and I've just put like a little thing on the side there. Getting so tricky now, I'm lost my words. I did look, watch one of my, I don't typically watch my videos back over, but there was one that my son started watching because he was on my tablet, and he clicked on it, and I realized when it was interpreting what I was saying, it puts in the word and I say a lot. I sincerely apologize if you are using there it is again. If you're using the translation, the English translation, I sincerely apologize for using that word over and over again. I'm trying not to be self-conscious about it. It's difficult. So I'm just going to be me, but I apologize. A train ticket, paper doily, and a little cigarette card used as a collage. And that's the end of that signature. The final signature, I have a piece of trim, handmade trim, and I've wrapped it around this whole signature. So at the very back is the other side of it as another pocket. This is some of my favorite 1832. This is from French Ledger, and it has beautiful fountain pen calligraphy, and I just love it. I think I told you in a previous video, I've gone through my entire stash, and if I haven't told you, I'm telling you now. And I have literally divided everything that I have hoarded and collected into plastic pouches for grungy journals, quilt covered journals, patchwork covered journals, and doily journals, because I was not reaching for a lot of my stuff. I was kind of using the same stuff over and over again because I had a lot of it, but I was also reluctant to use a good majority of my stash, like things like this that I thought, wow, that's so unique, they don't make it anymore. Once you give it away, it's sort of, you're not going to get it back. So I'm trying very hard to be okay with that, because there's no point me having 150 of these if I can share it with someone in a beautiful journal. So I literally have, I think there's 24 bundles of grungy journal, 18 bundles of quilt covered journal, 18 bundles of which is one like this. So what I've done is I've put all of the fabric, all of the trim, all of the ephemera, all of the pages, all of the little pieces like this into that plastic folder, and I'm literally picking up a folder and using it to create a journal from, as if I've purchased a bundle from another shop, but it's actually from my own stash. I have enough to have a shop. It's terrible, but anyway, I love it. This is my hobby. It kind of pays for itself, so I think that's pretty cool. I'm not going to take that out because the page that it's stuck on is quite delicate, but that's an old telegram from France, and that is a letter, and I've just put some trim and a little collage at the bottom. So that's another one of those tricky layered things. Another layered pocket with some beautiful trim and tatting. And we're at the end of the journal, and I'll just have a look at the time that it's taken for me to do this flip through, and I will see if I've got time to quickly jump up and show you what I mean about the bundles. So I'll leave you looking at the journal while I go and get one of the bundles. So I'll take that away. This is what I mean. So I have divided my stash up into these plastic pouches, which I found were the easiest thing to contain all of the things. But this is how much I use in one journal. I'll take it out and show you. It's taken me forever to do this, but I feel like it just forces me to use the things that I have in my stash. So that's the quilted cover and the little quilted hearts that I will use on the cover. This is all of the ephemera that I will be using in the journal. Look at all of this trim. It just made me realize how much I typically use in one of my journals. There's so much of it. How much have I ended up with? 24, 18, 18. There's probably another 10 that I could make for the doily journals. That's the lining, the inside lining of the journal. And then I've got a little bit more ephemera here, but this could all be pages. And then I've got a whole lot of pages. So book pages, telegrams, some antique embroidery magazine, some fashion magazine. So all of these things go into one of my journals, and it's really forcing me to use my whole stash. So if you're a bit like me, a little bit of a hoarder, reluctant to reach for all your special things, if you cut it up and then stick it into a plastic envelope like this, then you're sort of halfway to making a journal. Then when you line them all up and they all look cute together, you need to actually get them out and use them though. That's the key. You can't just leave them there all like, oh, isn't that cute and pretty? No, you've got to use it. So if you needed that little push and you needed to be inspired, maybe do what I've just done, because I'm having a lot of fun picking up one of these with all the cool things inside it and thinking, oh, what am I going to make today? So hopefully if my quilted journal didn't inspire you, then maybe the way that I've organized my craft room now actually has. And I have so much more space. It's insane. Same amount of stuff, but just organized differently. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.